Every morning, a billionaire walked into his office like an ordinary man and fell in love with the one person who never knew his true identity. What happened next changed both of their lives forever. New York always looks magnificent from a distance. Tall skyscrapers rise like symbols of power and wealth. But honestly, in my opinion, behind the city's luxury, there are many quiet stories that no one ever sees. On the 60th floor of an elite office building in Manhattan, a young man stands gazing out through a large glass window. His name is Ethan Walker, 28 years old. At such a young age, he has already become the youngest billionaire in the financial technology industry. His name often appears in business magazines, yet his face is rarely recognized by employees. Ethan is not the kind of CEO who likes to show off. He usually arrives very early in the morning, wearing simple clothes, a gray hoodie, and ordinary black shoes. Many people assume he is just an IT staff member or a contract employee. Honestly, in my opinion, wealth does not always make someone happy, and Ethan is living proof of that. In the middle of a life filled with numbers, stock charts, and endless meetings, there is one thing that always feels empty: sincerity. Every morning at 6 a.m., before other employees arrive, the building is already being cleaned by the maintenance team. One of them is a young woman named Lily Carter. Lily works as an office cleaner in the building. She is about 24 years old. Her brown hair is always neatly tied back. Her face is simple yet naturally beautiful. She never wears heavy makeup. Her smile is gentle, and the way she speaks is always polite. Lily works while attending evening classes. She came to the United States 5 years ago with her sick mother. Her father passed away long ago. Life taught her to be strong from an early age. Every day, Lily cleans the same room, the office of Ethan. At first, Ethan never really noticed who cleaned his office. That changed one morning when he forgot to bring his coffee. He looked exhausted, his eyes red from working all night. Lily entered while pushing her cleaning cart. "Good morning, sir," she said softly. Ethan gave a brief nod. A few minutes later, Lily returned, carrying a cup of hot coffee. "I noticed your mug was empty. I hope that's okay," she said, a little nervous. Ethan fell silent. No one had ever done something like that for him without a reason. "Thank you," he replied quietly. At that moment, for some reason, Ethan felt warmth. Not because of the coffee, but because of a small, sincere act of kindness. In my opinion, love often comes not from grand gestures, but from simple, unasked-for care. In the days that followed, Ethan began to look forward to those morning moments. Not because of the coffee, but because of Lily's presence. He started noticing small things. Lily always picked up trash even when it wasn't her responsibility. She apologized even when she hadn't done anything wrong. She always smiled, even when she looked tired. One day, Ethan gathered the courage to talk a little longer. "Have you worked here long?" he asked. "3 years, sir," Lily replied. "Have you ever thought about working somewhere else?" Lily smiled faintly. "As long as my mother can receive treatment, wherever I work, I'm grateful." Her answer pierced Ethan's heart. In a world full of ambition and greed, there was someone who wanted only one thing: to see her mother get better. But not everyone treated Lily with respect. Some employees often looked down on her. "She's just a cleaner. Don't act so close to the office staff." A woman in an expensive suit said one morning. Lily only lowered her head. She didn't respond. She was used to it. Ethan witnessed it, and his heart burned. I believe, in my opinion, that the way someone treats those with less power reveals who they truly are. And from that day on, Ethan knew one thing: this woman is different. This woman is sincere. And without realizing it, he was falling in love. But there was one big problem. Lily didn't know who Ethan really was. And Ethan didn't know whether Lily cared for him, or was simply respecting the ordinary man she saw every morning. The days in that Manhattan building slowly began to change for Ethan. He started arriving earlier than usual, not because of meetings, but for one simple reason: Lily. But honestly, in my personal opinion, as the one who created this story, love that grows quietly is often the most painful, because it cannot be spoken, cannot be shown, and must remain hidden from everyone. Ethan continued to pretend to be an ordinary employee. He didn't want Lily to see him as a billionaire, not because he feared rejection, but because he feared being loved for his money. One morning, Lily looked different. Her smile wasn't as bright as usual. Her hand trembled slightly as she wiped the desk. "Are you okay?" Ethan asked softly. Lily hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Just a little tired, sir. But Ethan knew it wasn't just tiredness. In the building's pantry, Ethan accidentally overheard two female staff members talking. That cleaner, Lily? Yes. It's sad, but I heard her mother needs an expensive surgery. How could she afford it? Her salary barely covers anything. Ethan clenched his fists tightly. In my personal view, this part of the story is meant to show that kind people often carry the heaviest burdens alone. That afternoon, Lily sat by herself on the emergency staircase during her break. She held her phone in her hand, her eyes filled with tears. Ethan gathered the courage to approach her. If you need someone to talk to, I can listen. Lily looked at him for a long moment. Why do you care? The question left Ethan silent. Because I believe not everyone has to be strong on their own. Lily's tears finally fell. My mother, her condition is getting worse. The doctor says she needs surgery as soon as possible. But I don't have the money. Ethan wanted to say, I can pay for everything right now. But he held himself back. In my opinion, the true test of love is not about being able to help, but about choosing the right moment to be honest. Ethan only said, you are a strong woman, but being strong doesn't mean being alone. Lily gave a bitter smile. You know, sometimes I wish there was someone who saw me, not just as a cleaner. Those words shattered Ethan's heart, because he saw Lily as more than anyone else in that building. Problems began when a senior manager caught Ethan talking closely with Lily. Keep your distance. She's just a cleaning staff member, he said coldly. Ethan stared back firmly. She's human, just like us. The news spread quickly. Some people began to look at Lily with suspicion. Others accused her of seeking attention from male staff. Lily eventually decided to avoid Ethan. She cleaned his office faster, no longer talked, no longer lingered with her smile. And in my opinion, distance created by others is often far more painful than direct rejection. That day, the New York sky looked gray. Clouds hung low over the tall buildings of Manhattan, as if sharing the weight in Ethan's chest. It had been 3 days since Lily stopped cleaning his office. His desk was spotless, but his heart was in chaos. As the one who created this story, I can hardly imagine this happening in the real world. But loss can arrive even before we truly possess what we care about. At last, Ethan made the decision he had been avoiding. He called all the employees in the building to the main conference room. The large room was filled with expensive suits, polished shoes, and faces full of curiosity. None of them knew that their lives were about to change that day. Ethan stood at the front, not as the man in a simple hoodie, but as the CEO and owner of the building. My name is Ethan Walker, he said calmly, founder of Walker Financial Group. The room erupted in shock. Some faces turned pale. Others stood frozen in disbelief. All this time, I came here as an ordinary employee, he continued, because I wanted to see how people treat one another without titles. His eyes swept across the room. You may be proud of your achievements, but today I learned one thing. The purest heart often belongs to the person you look down on the most. The door opened. Lily stepped inside, startled and nervous, ready to turn back. Ethan looked at her, not as a CEO, but as a man who loved her. Lily, he said softly, I'm sorry. Tears fell from Lily's eyes. Was all of this a lie? Her voice trembled. No, Ethan replied. My feelings were the only thing that was honest from the very beginning. He stepped down from the podium. I never wanted you to see me as a billionaire. I only wanted you to see me as an ordinary man who fell in love. Lily cried. Do you know how small I felt all this time? I thought you were kind because you didn't know who I was. Ethan shook his head. I was kind because I chose to be human. In my own view, honesty that comes too late often feels like betrayal, even when the intention is good. Then Ethan did something no one had ever imagined. I'm stepping down as the active CEO. The room erupted once more. What? I'm handing over the operational role to the board of directors. He continued, because power that causes me to lose the person I love is not power worth keeping. He turned to Lily. I'm not asking you to trust me today. I just want you to know. I choose you, not money. Lily looked at him for a long moment. For the first time, she saw sincerity without distance. A few months later, in a small park in Brooklyn, Lily sat on a wooden bench. She was now working while continuing her studies, and her mother had undergone surgery, without Ethan ever mentioning money. Ethan approached, dressed simply. No luxury car, No bodyguards. Hi, he said. Lily smiled softly. Hi. There were no grand promises. No excessive words of love. Just two people who chose honesty and equality. This story may not happen in the real world, but even if it doesn't, the message is real. True love does not come from who we are in the eyes of the world, but from who we are when the world is not watching. Welcome to ADI's Voice Channel. This channel features fictional stories, including inspirational stories, romantic stories, and emotional life stories filled with meaningful moral messages. Important notice: all stories presented in this channel are purely fictional and created for entertainment and educational purposes only. The visual images are original creations generated using AI prompts. The narration voice is produced using AI voice technology for storytelling purposes. Any resemblance to real persons or events is purely coincidental. Content purpose: entertainment, inspiration, moral lessons, and life values. Light educational storytelling. Thank you for watching and supporting ADI's Voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy our stories.